Welcome back to the Talk with me, Kemodo HSC. I hope you have been fine. I hope your days have been fine. We have missed probably one episode, one Sunday. We usually do this weekly. And I'm grateful to have yet another chance to continue with this good project and of the Talk with me, Kemodo HSC. You can follow me on Facebook at Kemodo HSC, on Twitter, Kemodo HSC at Son of Metumi with a double I at the end. And today I want us to talk about Rigathi versus Morara. Rigathi versus Kebaso Morara. This is something it's going on in the public eye, and it's been a heated season of a political wave. Noting that the deputy president, who is His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, has made very strong remarks regarding the president, and probably a clear indication of the fallout between him and his boss, and the presidency looks like it's in two halves as we speak. So let us talk about Rigathi. I don't want to talk more about Ruto. It has been tough, and let us do away with that, and let us talk about Rigathi and what he brings on the table, all about Rigathi. Many people think, or many people, maybe through what I post through the socials as a political commentator, think that I am in fully support of a Rigathi-led presidency. But that's not the case as it stands as of 2024. I want to make it clear that if there would be an election today, this moment, I would vote for Kebaso Morara. Unfortunately, we are in 2024. The next general elections are in 2027. Everyone is open to have his choice. Everyone is open to have his or her different choice come 2027. But as of now, if an election would have been done today, I would vote for Morara Kebaso. And I will explain the reason to that and what he brings to the table. I want to start with Rigathi Gachagua, the deputy president. With all due respect, you have to realize that he has rose to where he is as a blessing. It is not easy. We have seen people who have been members of parliament for a decade also, or even more, but have never rose to the occasion or rose to the standards that Rigathi has rose to. For example, people like Duale, who have served the parliament for too long. But then we go to Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who is a one-time member of parliament of Madeira. And from serving one term as member of parliament for Madeira, he goes straight to serving as the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. At least those are his involvement directly in government. There maybe have some people talk of him being in charge of Nyeri at some point. Let us focus on where he has been involved directly in terms of government. And that is why he has been directly involved as member of parliament of Madera constituency, and now the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. That is quite a big step for those propagating his impeachment. Even if he would have gotten impeached today, he has already achieved a lot from being a DO, to being a personal assistant to His Excellency the former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, to where he is today. He's a man who has worked his way up and have acquired the blessings of God to be where he is today. We cannot rule out that. Now, you realize from his, he has got some experience on how to run ground activities. That's why people call him Mtua Ground. For sure, it's how he moves, how he does his thing, how he responds to things. He shows it that yeye ni mtu wa ground, and he has a way to go around with words with those people who are directly affected. And this is the prowess that he showed during the 2022 campaigns in the run-up to the Ruto RIGATHI presidency. It is this prowess that made him garner and consolidate votes for Kenya Kwanza in the Mount Kenya region, which he strongly wants to make sure that he leads them in terms of agendas, and he leads them as the unified voice. It is clear that he has come out to recognize the presence of Uhuru Kenyatta as the de facto kingpin, if you want to look at it that way. But then he has his own shortcomings. And I want to talk about what would he bring to the table for the Kenyan people to make them vote for him. It is quite little, given that he is in the circle of the same old folks, the same old boomers who want to make sure that since independence, they are the one leading this country. No new faces, no new ideas, the same old 19th and 18th century ideas. We are in the 21st century. These people came into power through universities as youths, as the young people with great ideas for those decades and for those centuries that they came up in. And when they came up into these political spaces, there were older, more experienced fellows in government issues compared to them, but they gave them the space. But for us, for this day, for the 21st century, they have refused completely, and making sure they just give tokens in terms of nominated, in terms of maybe MPs, but the top leadership, we have experienced the same old faces. And that is a problem that comes in to hound Gachagua. Look at even the communication team within Gachagua. It is the same people we have been against. It is the same, yes, young, but it is the same people who have carried the ambitions of those old boomers, those old faces, those old ideas into the modern day and they have been made to be their postmen. They go there, come here. The people they simply send to create a narrative or a message to some people, and that is the biggest shortcoming about Rigathi. He has to prove to the people that, are we getting change? People want to change from these old ideas. Same people. Look at Ruto, is a product of Moi. Look at Uhuru, a product of Moi. Look at Akina Orengo, people who came up during their youthful days, when they were 30, when they were 28. Look at Anyang' Nyong'o, look at Raila Amolo Odinga. The same people, no new ideas. It is just some few friends who have decided that maybe we can go for a race, and we have to invite cheerleaders, and these cheerleaders are the people of this country to cheer for us. But in real sense, there is no change. It is just them having fun in a race. We need new people. You realize that the communication team of Gachagua has the same people or the same youths that have taken advantage of the youth's agenda. Probably most of them from the famous Radical that was led by the likes of Itumbi. Or is it that also these people have lacked a chance to eat at the high table? Because you realize that the biggest fallout, even before we get to Gachagua Ruto fallout, it is within bloggers from the office of the deputy president, and bloggers from the office of the president, the chief of staffs, the staffs, the friends are aligned to them. This is where the biggest fight is. So what are they fighting for? The country or a chance to throw their hand at the cookie jar? These are the questions we have to ask, and this is where Rigathi Gachagua falls behind, and it comes to haunt him in a way. In a good way, he's fighting for the correlation of the offices around the government, that the office of the deputy president and the office of the president as the presidency should find a way to correlate that their functions that affect them both should be made sure that each of the offices realizes and knows and it is detailed to those activities. Unfortunately, the other day we realized that even the deputy president is not aware of the president's diary. He was not even aware that the president was leaving the country that night. It is quite unfortunate, and we understand that this is what Rigathi is fighting. And in as much he has his shortcomings, we must make sure that we realize that he's also Kenyan. He's fighting a war. What we should do as Kenyans is fight the war on our part. As he fights the war to make sure that these offices correlate, not only the deputy president's office and the president office, but also every other office. That the office of a cabinet secretary should not affect the activities of the office of the deputy president. In any case, the deputy president and the president as the presidency are their bosses. So whatever respect is accorded to the office of the president is the same respect should be accorded to the office of the deputy president. The respect that is accorded to from a member of parliament allied to UDA to a certain office, the president or the deputy, it should be the same, and everyone should work to whatever responsibility is being given. the member of parliament to act on legislation and not to interfere in the affairs of the president and the deputy president. Work according to the responsibility given to you by the people and by the office that you hold. We must acknowledge that this is the fight that Rigathi is fighting, even without his shortcomings. Another thing we have to notice that Rigathi is yet to announce his ambitions to the run-up of 2027. He's not said anywhere that he wants to be president come 2027. I would hope that this would stay like that, and in the spirit of patriotism, in the spirit of service, he should come 2027 and field something, someone different for the top seat, back him up, and maybe take a step behind. I would think that maybe deputy president should even consider running the governor seat of Nyeri and build Nyeri to a status or to a city status, and confirm and prove to people that yes, yeye ni mtu wakazi. I would love him to approach it that way, or even serve as a cabinet secretary or something else. He should work a masterpiece that had never been seen in the Kenyan history of politics, in that way that he can even step away from the 2027 presidency thing, support someone different, and go do something different. This country needs to change. This country needs a fresh start, and this fresh start won't be given by these old folks who have made sure that we have been in the state we have been today. He should focus on ending the boomers' dominance. He started a fight with Uhuru and in terms of what we used to call I'm trying to remember. I just escaped my mind, but he started a fight that he should not really have dropped. Or I understand maybe in his wisdom he decided to lay low, but it is a fight that we need to fight in terms of going back to ancient injustices dating back to independence. Uhuru couldn't do that because his father was the founding father of this nation. The nation has a lot of questions to ask in regards to this nation and how the British left this nation and to whom they left the responsibility of the resources they had too. Uhuru is not the person to answer that. Raila is not the person to answer that, because these two, I used to call them the British beneficiaries. They benefited a lot from that past experience of the British. So they are not the right people to take us through to make sure that we get the right answers of where we went wrong. I keep asking, the Mzungu had land. The Mzungu had companies. The Mzungu had a lot of wealth. But to whom did they leave it to? And whoever was left it, was given all this, did he deserve it, or was the country supposed to benefit from everything that the British had? A small example is about what you call Singapore. If you look at the history of Singapore, when the British left Singapore, they made sure that any resource they had, they left it to the government and for public and as a public uh, as a public what do I what do I mean want to say in terms of for public benefit, as a public utility, the companies, the land. But when we come to Kenya, who benefited from all this? Take a look at Singapore. Again, they started their army from scratch. When you read or when you Google research on surviving without a hinterland, the Singapore people started from scratch to create their own army, and they borrowed heavily from the Israel Israel nation, and from the Israel military, to make sure that they are in form to create their own military. But what happened to Kenya? We still have Batuk, we still have the British here. So what is their interest here? What is their interest having the people's land in this nation, continuing to instill the atrocities to the Kenyan people? This is a question that can't be answered by the same people who have led us since then. And this brings us to Morara Kebasi. Morara is doing what every legislative member or every legislator should be doing. Asking the right questions. Asking why the projects sponsored by government, national government, have stalled. Making sure that they lobby for every launched project in their counties, in their constituencies, in their wards is finished to completion and to serve the people of those areas. But what are they doing? They are being part and parcel of these vampire diaries. They are being part and parcel of finishing this nation. They are the same people opening companies to register. They are registering companies to make sure that they put their hand in the cookie jars when these projects are being launched and are being funded. You'll find in this construction billboards that a certain company was in charge of construction of a road, whereas the company does not exist in the books of the Companies Act of this Kenya. Morara is doing so much, and to his benefit, he doesn't have a scandal behind him. He's not being involved in any kind of allegations to do with public money, and that is making some people jealous of him, that they don't have something to tie him to it, to tie him behind. Yes, I admit that we have a lot to learn from him, but as for me, personally, I would vote for him any day, anytime. Listening to Morara, you realize that he's had a lot of authenticity in whatever he's doing. The drive, the resilience to want to see a working nation. The other day, in a bid to smear his name in a bad shape, they produced a video where Morara was in a rally where Ruto was, and actually clapping to the idea that they won't be welcoming Raila on board, and to make sure that to launch a few projects. And in their bid to make sure that they paint Morara in a bad name, it painted him in a good way. It shows that he believed in what we also believed in. That indeed this person would work for us. We are the same people who sang Togo Kiratene. We are the same people who sang Mkono wa Bwana. We are the same people who sang Sipangwingwi. It is because we believed in the ideologies that was spelled out for us. We believed that we would see a different Kenya when he takes over. We believed that the opposition would take up their roles and work for the people of Kenya and make sure that they correct the government of Kenya in where it goes wrong, and to make sure that the people have a place to run to and make sure things are straightened. But what do we have today? We don't have an opposition. All the promises that were made, 80% of them have nothing to show for it. And the 20% that have taken effect, they don't seem like they will get into completion anytime soon. This is very unfortunate. I will be backing Morara any day. He's doing so much. And so you ask, this guy must have been sponsored in a way. Is it sponsored or not? Every politician in this country is sponsored in a way. The only difference with Morara is that he's been sponsored by the people of Kenya. Whoever other person is behind him, or whatever other force is behind him, he must have done a very proper job in fielding a person who doesn't have a baggage to carry. He did quite a commendable job to bring forward a person who doesn't have a scandal to his name. He did a very good job to make sure that we have a young person leading from the front, fearless and speaking the truth. This is what this country needs. A young person to lead this country. A fresh start, not only for Morara, but for everyone else, for every other elective seat. There should be a Morara fighting for that space. We are hoping and praying that Morara goes far. And if God agrees to it, may he get the topmost job. What does he bring on the table? He brings a new face. Morara will bring a new communication team. Not the same old folks, not the likes of Devin D. Not the likes of Itumbi. Not the likes of Akina Mothaora. Even in the social spaces like Facebook, X, and TikTok, the influence will change to new people. Let other people have the space. There is enough space for everyone, so we don't have to see the same old faces. This is what Morara brings to the table. New faces, new ideas, young ideas, energetic ideas, people focused to the end, and people focused to see this country grow and become and attain its potential, because it is yet to attain its potential. I go for Morara any day. moving forward, you might hear a lot of Morara from my spaces, from this channel. We will indeed make sure that we support him where we can, and we will move with him until we find that he's no longer suitable, of which I doubt. He started so well, he's moving so well, he stayed focused on the course, and now he's fronting a new party called Inject. We will look at that next time. For today, that was Rigathi versus Morara. Morara's part is yet to be finished. There's more to it to Morara. As it unfolds, we make sure we engage and indulge and give the insights as they are. Until next time, I am Kimodo HSC, and this is the Talks Talk. See you next time. Peace and God bless Kenya.